Do you all see this? 4 is actually up today. So we have the early preview of the Mariner class, and I am here way earlier than expected, so it's quite exciting. But servers went up probably like 3 minutes ago. It's 6:03 right now, and things were supposed to start. Definitely reading all this 100%. Things were supposed to kick off at 6 o'clock, so hopefully that is when they started. Also, I'm already having headphones issues, but we'll try to ignore that for now. So hopefully this will pick up on the Bulwark client, and it does. Perfect. Also, no cats right now. I might just turn the cat cam off until they come here. But when we create a new character, we'll do High Elf because that's what I always play. There maybe is a new class somewhere. There it is, Mariner, and they actually have it in the right order here. Oh my, he's kind of missing. Yeah, I don't know if they're supposed to be hollow like that, but you can see the class icon description here. Class difficulty advanced. They have offense/support, so they are melee fighters. I believe that's already been at least partially confirmed. But then they have a runekeeper-like, attunement-like system, and then let's see, they use combinations of individual movements, so that could be like Brawler or perhaps more notably Warden. And then in Fellowships, they can use Shanty, so they do have Shanties, it sounds like, to coordinate and motivate their allies, kind of like Captain. So they have a pretty good description of lore there. They seem to have I'm kind of surprised at the default outfit. It reminds me of Burglar, which I just wouldn't have expected. I don't know, I don't really think of a Mariner in that type of hood, but perhaps I have the wrong idea of a Lord of the Rings Mariner. Like, this looks more like I could expect for a Seafarer-based class. Eventually we'll have audio working. I realize it's not working right now, by the way, but that will be coming soon, a feature coming soon. I'm just going to really quickly change some things to make him a little more... He's just going to look like all my characters, to be honest, but there we go. That's actually, for some reason, I feel like... Actually, maybe grayish hair. I don't usually use gray hair, but that seems fitting for the seafaring life. We'll make him nice and small. And then his name is going to be... I should have thought of a name. I am absolutely terrible with names, so we're going to do Luiner. He's a Mariner, but he's a Louis, so he's a Luiner. And great. Also, I should have changed the tutorial. We did not want to do Shadows of Umbar. I need a Control-Z. That's a pretty neat hat, though. Circlet type hat thing. Okay, so I believe, yeah, we saw my characters there, so I transferred some of my account-wide stuff so that, wow, this is already a more finished class than the Brawler was in their first thing, because I have abilities. We'll look at stuff in a moment, but I want to do intro skip so I can get out of here and get to the real world, so that'll take a moment to get up. Also, there was a cat here, but she disappeared. Just kidding, she's still there, but behind me. Oh, wow, they gave me LOTRO points. Usually they don't do that for the beta. I wonder if that's a new thing. So we want veteran status on the LOTRO store. I realize y'all can't see this, or if you can, there's some massive issue going on. Hello, welcome to our Mariner preview on board. Thank you. Random world broadcast voice. All right, so we got intro skip. I will also get to... Wow, that's a level 19 quest. When did that happen? I actually would assume we wear light or medium armor. I feel like light armor would be fitting, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it's medium armor that they wear. Okay, so to get to chat and get all my windows fixed, hopefully the stream is actually working. That would be a good thing to verify. I cannot hear it. Okay. Supposedly audio is going through, but I cannot hear my own stream. Wonderful. Sounds like audio is going through and it's working. That's good, Rico. Thank you. What just happened? Oops. Uh-oh. This time I might have broken things, but wait, what happened? Oh, I know. Okay. Never mind. We're good. All good. All under control here. So I need to start up my second OBS so I can record. Do not want to forget to record locally. That is very important. Okay, so yeah, I still can't hear this though. What is going on? Oh, where my headset likes disconnecting a lot. I'm presuming that's what happened. I'm just not going to use that today. So let me make sure. Sorry for the delay here. I realize it's very exciting times, but my headphones ain't gonna work. So the wireless part of them, that is. So we're gonna plug them in wired, and I probably have to switch audio devices now. Wired is always more reliable though. Okay, so we have audio, because I actually want to hear this character. Normally I'm not the biggest deal to me to actually hear. Okay, so we have audio.
Wow, that's loud.
Sorry. Oh, that hurt my ears. Okay, let's yeah, not play my stream back for all of you all. Thank you all for your patience. Hey, Zogog, I recognize that name. It's always fun. The one whole previous exclusive preview we had, it was fun seeing all the content creators and like actually recognizing them. Okay, so just one thing I want to do. Okay. I believe everything is set, and we can get back to, I can read chat once again. Oh yeah, he is gone. Okay, let's load my UI layout load v7. Very greatly named. And then we have this fancy balance panel is what it's called. I was going to call it an attunement bar. Also, I don't seem to be able to move that. I can move other things, but this one's not wanting to be moved, so we'll deal with that. Next up, what do we want to do? Go to Isengard Tavern and level boost? Is there any other solution? Why do we have so many abilities at this level as well? That is actually kind of curious. It always takes forever to set characters up in this game, which is a bit of a downside. But I'm not going to worry about setting him up all too much for now, but I kind of want to clean up the inventory real quick. I can't believe it's just after Tuesday and the preview was delayed. Tuesday was like the perfect day for me to do this early preview. I mentioned in the stream yesterday that I still did. It was only an hour and a half stream, even though I thought it was like 2 hours because I sort of had the stream running, but not live for like half an hour before, just because I didn't know with my internet how it would work. So doing a little bit testing with that to make sure things were stable. But anyway, even with that, or with that delay, it was the perfect day, basically, for me of this week. Today's a lot worse. But normally I am at work until essentially 5:50-ish. But today I was pretty much able to leave about an hour before that. So I was actually able to get home, eat dinner real quick, and start the stream somewhat on time. Very close to 6 o'clock sharp. So that worked out on Mariner. I actually wonder if that's on Mac Mahal, one of the developers, or if that's just somebody naming their character on Mariner, but I'd like it either way. New classes DPS/support as far as I can tell. Let's actually do stuff so we can see. Okay, first off, we have Blade Shield, so let's go, oh, riposte damage. That's a champion thing. But this is a defensive stance. It attunes. Oh, so it's just a short duration buff is really what it's saying. And then you have like, oh, wow, this class is so much more exciting than Brawler to me. Sorry to people that like, oh, did I go to the wrong one? No, I went to the right one. It said Crafting Hall, and that made me think I messed up. Test Mariner. I mean, they're not wrong. Good question on the armor type. I assumed medium armor, but wow, I really like the starter armor. But I thought light armor would make sense too, but it is medium armor, it looks like. Okay, so this gives you... yeah, my balance is shifting, so I'm at 28 out of 50 using these red abilities. But then if I use like On Guard, I get run speed, and it gives thrust damage. But I believe that moves me towards the fore and aft. So I think aft, if aft is the one on the right, that's where I'm headed. Lunge. That's a pretty decent animation for LOTRO. We are dual wielding. I don't know if that was still up for question, but oh, I like the short cooldown. Well, very exciting level 5 gameplay. I'm actually surprised that they have so many abilities at level 5, but that's kind of the way LOTRO is. Alright, let's go ahead and level up. There's Gin. So far I've seen potentially on Mac Mahal, or somebody pretending to be on. Zogog, Starlight, I kind of feel like I recognize that name, but I'm not entirely sure. Seeing Gin, and then who else was it? Zogog? Or did we just point him out again? Alright, where's my level booster? Over here? Saruman? Yes, let's go... Why not? Straight to 140. What could go wrong? It's gonna take a bit to get weapons, but I don't really care about those at this point. I don't know if you all do. Yeah, I don't know Bright Life or Mana Pots. I don't know if Mana Pots has done anything LOTRO related in a long time. I also don't know if Bright Life's ever done anything on the beta. This is frost damage. That's surprising. The North Wind. I mean, it makes sense that'd be frost damage. So that one attunes you some of the damage stuff. I'll put some of these abilities on the screen so we can see. But that okay. I need to go one thought at a time. The attunes to the red there, I'm guessing that is damage boosting. So we have like advance here. This is swordplay, finishers deal increased damage. And then, oh, there are so many abilities. This is a problem with going straight to 140. Flick, that is a induction interrupt, which seems to have no animation. But then, yes, let's actually get to the other abilities. An ability like this attunes 2 of whatever the left attunement is. So you have like a left and right attunement. Is what I'd call them for now. Just because I don't know what else to call them right now. But yeah, those attune on the left side, but they don't seem to really do anything. They almost seem to be more setup type abilities, a little bit defensive type mechanic. I don't know if heals eventually. Let's get rid of racial stuff. Rummage. You never know what forgotten treasures have been left at the bottom of your pockets. Rummaging in your pockets may turn up a different object, so it's a 1 second cooldown. See what you can turn up in your pockets. Oh, that's a combat ability. Wow, a stone. 5 second stun. That could be a fun little RNG thing. I don't know if it's always going to be a stone. Or have like a crowd control effect like that. That's a different mechanic at least. Wow, I did half the damage per second. That's crazy. Really a strong class here, isn't it? But compared to the Brawler beta, the first round of Brawler, if you all don't remember, they had like none of their ability icons and the such. So this already feels way Tenuter. Sail to Tenuter. Okay, they can sail to ports. Sarn forward. What I'm really curious though, that this just makes me think of is if there's anything related to Umbar that might have slipped through the cracks and made it into the bull roar that we can go to. I don't remember if that ever happened with Gundabad. I don't remember anything like that happening, but I know a lot of updates they'll like do landscape updates kind of unrelated to what they're maybe intending to test on board. Like we had that with the Ondershire, I think, before the Shadow Zone, Swanfleet. Oh, apparently that thing can kill me. And all that, so thought it could be a possibility we can maybe eventually check out. Okay, but I am going to take a moment and not rush through everything and actually try to somewhat set up this character now. And if there's anything in particular that you all want to see, you can let me know. But there are toggle skills. So this is a Shanty for steady aft. So that goes towards aft. And aft is actually going to be, that's the left balance that seems to be more healing, defensive oriented. And then 4 is the one that seems to be more damage oriented, maybe. The alpha dummy. Is there an alpha dummy? Oh, River Hobbit. Yeah, I could try different races. I assume the animations are pretty much the same, but might eventually be able to get to that. Can it solo 12-mans? That's a good question. We can eventually test that as well. How do I get this character some decent starter armor? Probably all Embers of Enchantment. And then I wouldn't mind checking out legendary items, but we need to press J. Yes, so they do have 3 specializations. I'm sure that's something people have been curious about. Again, all finished icons. That's what's really crazy to me and standing out. It just makes it feel so much more finished than the Brawler did. So you have Yellow Line here that is traveling lifestyle, exploring distant lands, collecting rare material, strange baubles in a pinch, capable of turning the odds, and ends into devices for confounding and weakening their foes. That sounds to me like if LOTRO had a guns, basically. This seems like the spec that would use that, but LOTRO doesn't. But they have like pitch pot here, which is kind of like a, I don't know, makes me think of a gunpowder type thing, caustic brew. So potentially some interesting stuff in here. I don't know if this is intended to be like a support, debuffer support maybe. And then red line, damage. That's probably going to be the easiest one to start. And then Shanty Collar is healing, coordinate and motivate allies. So maybe not so much healing. Uh-oh, it looks like they have the like stuff that doesn't stack with the captain but does the same stuff potentially. Maybe it won't be the exact same, but that is something to look out for, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like if y'all remember the Lore Master proposal with what they had for the LM changes, basically having a bunch of abilities that had the same effect as Captain, but they were just blue line Lore Master things. It seems like this blue line Mariner is basically that, which again, I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. I just personally did not like it for blue Lore Master specifically, if you all remember me complaining a whole lot about that basically. So I don't inherently think it's a bad thing for blue line Mariner is all I want to clarify here. But it seems to be kind of like a red line Captain alternative type thing, or like closest comparison to it. But I think for now, I'll spec into red line. Oh, the dummy I killed is an alpha dummy. It sure is. I'm the beta Mariner at this point. Don't worry, we'll change that. We'll get our traits, we'll get our gear, we'll sharpen our swords. Can we only use swords? No, I can use a dagger. Second best table knife. I do love that for a Mariner, though. Swashbuckler's weapon. Remember when people thought the class would be called Swashbuckler? Ooh, somebody healed me for like 9,999. Thank you, On Mariner. Anyway, that got me all distracted. Oh yeah, so Swashbuckler. Any self-respecting Swashbuckler would rather something a bit fancier, like a second base table knife, right? Dwarfs would be able to use axes, that is true. They do have some heals, but I don't know about focus on heals for these specs here. Alright, so if I attempt to organize abilities that I have no idea what they do, that's a corruption removal. I try to, like as a general thing for classes, I tend to put utility stuff in control, and then maybe utility stuff that's used more frequently in shift, some more damage-oriented stuff as well. I really need a weapon. I need a better weapon just to have damage numbers that make more sense. We'll see if this guy has Mariner stuffs. What, you all want to take bets? Do they have Mariner? Oh, they do. It was there the whole time. They have a Cutlass of Legends and a Haversack. Incoming healing rating is going to be the stat on that, for anybody curious. And then, yeah, the sword. So now we can reforge them. And I don't have enough gold. I need one of these NPCs to give me some gold, please. Actually, did they add one here? Maybe at some point I thought they might have, but maybe they took them away. That was like the little boar, and it would roll around and give you gold. I know that sounds completely made up, but hey, we're in the Isengard Tavern after all. Creaky doors. Zogog is back, who is actually here in chat for a moment. Oh wait, he definitely found a developer that's not potentially somebody else in disguise. Cordovan, wherever he is. There he is. So what was I doing? I got myself distracted. Oh yeah, I was trying to get some gold. I believe there's a boar that gives you gold here. Fantas, how could I forget that name? Round 2? May I have 2 more maybe? Gotta go for the even 1,000 at this point. And then do we want to go ahead and get gear? Last I remember that was a little bit of a time consuming process. But there should be like a Gundabad instance gear? Maybe, let's see. Yeah, that's gonna cost normal. Aha, this guy would be... Oh yeah, they did reduce the price. But, ooh, Tavern Adventures gear. So we wear medium armor, I believe. So I want armor medium, and I'll just, yeah, I don't know, get a bunch of these. And then jewelry, do we use agility? I actually don't know. It seems to, well, actually might also gives us a good bit of something I didn't even think of. What was I going on about? Oh yeah, stats here. Will gives physical mastery. Alright then. Fate gives nothing-ish. Vitality gives us a bunch of morale. Okay, so yeah, what would be the main stat based on all this? Agility gives us critical rating, but might gives us physical mastery. That seems to be the big difference between the two. Might gives us twice as much physical mastery as agility, but agility gives us about 3 times, no, that'd be more. That's about 4 times as much critical rating. So the total stat that you get is more from agility, or you get more from agility is what I'm trying to say here. Will gives us a variety of a bunch of stuff though, so Will might not even be terrible. Anyway, let's get a bunch of agility boxes, I guess. I don't want to spend too much time doing this, but you gotta learn the class at some point and somehow. And then just a couple weapons to be safe. That should be enough gear, although I won't have any essences, but that's okay, maybe. Oh, we do have essence boxes. Never mind. Essences and allies. Wow, I didn't know they updated the Isengard Tavern with all this stuff. So 481? I believe that would be best here. Yeah. Out of place, ice skating guy. It looks, Sitkoff looks like he belongs here. Alright, that's enough essence boxes for now. I don't have to use them all, but figured I'd stock up on stuff while I could. It is a... Oh, yeah, it would be interesting if they made it a medium might class, but it is indeed a medium class. So what's the difference between the top and bottom? Bottom is tanking indeed, so we'll... Oops. There we go. I'll just get myself a full set of the DPS armor to start. While those are going, we can get the top jewelry pieces. Try to be a little bit more efficient with our time. Oh, what ring we want? Probably the physical mastery one, even though that has fate, which seems to be kind of terrible for us. But that's just potentially due to the lack of physical mastery that agility gives. Just suspicion. But perhaps not actually the good choice. Time will maybe tell, potentially. Do I need, no, I need earring next. We're gonna load up on the physical mastery jewelry here. And then I think cloak. One more earring. Armor more. Cloak. And then what, do they have pocket items? They sure do. Oh man, we're getting rid of our beautiful armor though. And equipping the... Oh, oops. If I'm allowed to say so. Less beautiful armor. Well, we can remedy that. We'll just go to outfit 1 here and... Wait for it. There we go. That's a big one. Voila. Yeah, and Beorning was medium armor might class for a while. Did I get 2 head pieces? Oh no. Okay. So I got everything? No, weapon. Oh, essence boxes. Wait, where did the weapons go? So let's see what weapons we can use. This is an easy way to check. So of course, if you're playing a dwarf, you can use an axe, but according to this, I think swords and daggers. What do y'all think? Dual wield swords or dual wield a sword and dagger? That's a nice looking dagger, I do have to say. The sword's not terrible looking, but I oddly kind of like the look of that dagger. We can switch if we need to. I got 2 weapon boxes for exactly this purpose, but I'm going to go with that dagger for now. I oddly like that, and it just seems fitting for this character. Can all races be Mariner? Probably, but that would be something good to check. No mitigations, perfect. Alright, so button mashing is something you can do. Tells me about 0 on how effective it is. Also, why do these things stun you? Has that always been a thing? Or am I stunning myself somehow? Is that a Mariner thing? So the meter is an attunement-like system. It's fore and aft. So you can even go in a stance. So this stance will increase 4, which appears to be damage-oriented, but I can't see if... Forward is plus 15% melee damage there. I don't know if one of these abilities is maybe a consumer. Lunge attunes 5 but requires 7, so that's not a consumer. Feint? Oh no, I got... Oh, I think I see. I think if you hit the full, like, 4 in that case, so if I get up to 50, I think that stuns me, and it's probably the same thing with aft. So if you're using a bunch of damage skills, maybe that's when you have to worry about, like, you might get stunned. So let's see, if I go up to 50 here, right now I'm at 44. That's going to move me up a bit. So I'm at 48, and this ability will attune 1. So when I use that ability again, it should stun me? Yeah, when I got to 50 there. Did I not reforward? Oh yeah, I got gold for my allies, that's right. Oh, go ahead and do that. Except I'm in combat. There we go. That should be a huge DPS boost. So yeah, kind of opposite of Runekeeper, it seems like you do want to stay in the middle. Let's go ahead and check that I do have all my abilities. Which I'm guessing I do. Oh, those are mounted skills. That'd be interesting to check out. Did they make Mariners OP at mounted combat? Maybe. Let's try Rummage again. See what it gives me. This one's a heal, actually. So if y'all remember, the last Rummage gave me a 50-second stun. And that did play a sea shanty, if y'all didn't hear. It was a very short one, but there was sea shantying going on. Hello, Bella. And glad to see everyone here. Kind of scarily, we're approaching the 100 viewer concurrent mark. And I'm getting notifications on Discord. Oh, somebody pointing out that my Discord status is the Mariner preview. Okay, so what do we want to check next? Actually put points in the traits. Hey, it's a wheel here. Makes you feel like a true seafaring class. Okay, damage over time. Do we have any damage over time? Wait. Swordplay, step back gives more partial evade. Advance deals more damage. Advance applies a bleed. So... step back. Uh-huh. Wait, is that one of these? Thrust? Riposte. Aggressive strike. Swordplay. Lunge. Reduces your target's crit chance. Swordplay. Okay, these activate those, maybe. So this one's... Wait, what's the one? This one, it says swordplay advance deals more damage. Where is advance? Oh, let's move this out of the way. I've suddenly got myself very lost because I don't know what's going on with the swordplay. Okay, don't see anything here. Don't see any mention of swordplay in there. We'll eventually figure it out, maybe. Hey there, Ray Dog. Okay, so either way, positional damage... Wait, they do more damage when they're in front of an enemy. Well, that's at least different positional damage. I kind of like that as a contrast to maybe wanting to stand behind the enemy. I could see in situations where a boss or mobs and group content do frontal damage, you maybe don't want to be there, but perhaps could be a balance or just a good solo trait. Well, yeah, let's increase the damage of our swordplay skills. Are these all swordplay? Yeah, skill type melee swordplay. Where is advance? I think that's what I'm looking for. Advance, not necessarily swordplay, but advance. Here it is. Wait, no, that's advantage. Thrust into advance applies a bleed. So when you use thrust in advance, your opponent will bleed. Isn't that what this said it does? Okay, where is advance? There's advance. Okay, so there are actual combinations. Sorry, I feel super slow right now. Yes, all 95 of you. That's how many people are watching me are definitely judging every move. That is fully what I expect here. Salt Sea Blade. With the strike of your salted blade weaken your opponent's armor, that makes sense. And then crit chance, we always like that. Probably will want bleed pulses, that's usually a good thing. 4 state buff damage. Oh yeah, so 4, that's the battle state. 4, that gives you increased damage. So we'll probably eventually want that. We have plenty of trait points to go around, but yeah, pick and choose for a moment here. Okay, thrust into advance applies a bleed. Advance becomes sweeping advance, so that'll become an AoE and shorter cooldown. That sounds fun. So aftward pips. Oh, decreases the aftward pips. So when you use these, they give you the aftward pips, but these want you to... These will, like, let you use those without going backwards. And then I think they do modifiers, so they'll increase, like, riposte damage, so they're not purely defensive or utility or whatever they provide. They also... There's a Shanty. They also provide damage buffs to different things, or other buffs and the such. So you can see where the combos, it's not like Ward and Gambit combos, but you can see where combos come into play, more like Brawler, I would say, with their setup abilities, is a better comparison for combos. Dodge. So this is another one of those. these abilities here. We're getting somewhere, but slowly. Disengage is a longer cooldown one, but it's another one of the blue abilities, so we'll move it there. It's kind of like a lunge, but blue version. Maybe. Because attunes 5, but requires 7. Lunge attunes 5 the other way, but requires 7 the other way. So it's a mirror. Not all victories are won through offense. Increases the damage of your afterward skills. Do these even do damage? Or does this increase like the damage buffs of them? Can increase north wind damage, which is it's an AoE. It's a minute 15-second cooldown though. I guess I'll get afterward skill damage. So you have afterward and forward. Compound attack. That one looks fun. Just based on the icon and it doing 3 attacks. They're all main hand attacks too, so. I haven't seen a skill called Photoshop. Salted wounds, so more damage over time stuff. We'll go ahead and backfill that. And then test defense buff potency. Every encounter is a learning process. When you land a critical hit, your swordplay damage is increased for a short time afterwards. Well, that sounds great. Even more reason to get crits, really. On every swordplay critical hit, you get increased damage. Wow. And then you also have increased finisher skills damage. Okay. So what I'm suspecting, and I could be entirely wrong, but what I'm suspecting is that you do want to build up to 50 forward, as DPS it would be called. So that's this slider here. So if you get up to 50, you get stunned for a short duration. But it seems like the idea is you want to build high forward. And then I'm guessing you want to use your finishers near the maximum forward when you have the highest damage boost from being high on the forward scale. So we'll see. You know, Anton, you mentioned no 5-minute cooldown skill to jump off a Corsair ship with an undead army. I was actually wondering if they would have, maybe not that exact type ability, but something kind of along those lines. Fletch and lunge. Apply. I don't even know if that's actually called fletch. If anybody knows if it's like fleck, which I don't know. That's just based on other CHs and Middle Earth being K sound like Fort Kel. But I think fletch is how you normally say that. I don't know though. Didn't buy him to 140, but I talked to Saruman and he granted me 135 levels it would have been to get to 140. Perfectly normal LOTRO things. But that's what happens when you visit the Isengard Tavern on the beta servers. Okay, let's go ahead and just get all this stuff, I guess. Now, what I'm really curious is, as a secondary spec, do you want to go yellow line? Or do you want to go blue line? I have no idea. Well, I kind of have an idea what the two trait trees do. A lot less familiar with the yellow line, I would say. Just because blue line looks kind of like a red line captain, I would expect stuff kind of like what a red line captain has. Maybe not exactly even red line captain, but kind of captain general. Like general captain type abilities is what I'd expect in here. And then yellow line, I don't know. I just don't know. Breath of Fire, that looks like a pretty good AoE. Also, I have to see that animation. And getting more damage on that, that sounds right up my alley. Chance for advance to stun when used after a post. You can get a guarantee on that. That'd be neat. Fate seems to do nothing for us. Unless power is an actual issue. Get 3 points on that to finish it off. Outgoing healing modifier. I really don't know what the rover. Temporary damage reduction from afterward balance. Alright. DNT, thrown object. I'll take it. There aren't too many DNT things, all things considered. Belly of Brine. Oh, it's a targeted skill and it removes additional diseases. I don't know if it's all debuffs, but maybe just diseases. I'm about to get my skill bar flooded, aren't I? And then increased mitigation, maybe. I wasn't intending to necessarily go all yellow here, but that's just kind of how it's happened. Throwing skills range. Alright. Did I want this? Chance for sea shanties to restore power. Why not? Throwing skills become ground targeted. I like that idea. Volatile salts. Days. Oh, AoE days. Big AoE days like Lore Master. After those thingies, heals your fellowship. Oh, after step back or check step, disengage heals your fellowship. What's disengage? This one, I think? Yes, actually guessed right. Alright. Sorry, distracted. Okay. Yeah, why not get that? Ooh, love me some D&Ts. That one's a fear, though. I don't know. I don't really need a fear here. I like volatile salts better. There could have been interesting stuff in the blue line. Like marked foes there. That looks pretty good. AoE plus 5% incoming damage. Alright, my favorite training dummy is the unarmored one because it makes me look more OP because you do more damage to unarmored stuff. Pro LOTRO tip. The more armor enemies have, the less damage you do. This really did totally... Wait, check step became a damaging ability? When did that happen? I didn't even look at the set bonuses. It could have even been in that. Alright, cut over. We have so many abilities. The part does make it a little bit overwhelming. It probably wouldn't have been a terrible idea to do like level 10, 20, 30, 40 and just slowly progressed. But this is more exciting. Compound attack will quicken the recovery of your lunge. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff to go on here. Crit magnitude, that one's simple at least. Finisher damage bonus from advance. So you want to use advance and then finisher maybe? Plus 75% finisher skill damage. So if we actually just test that, like sweeping advanced and then lunge basically. That's like the combination there, I guess. And then we want to use thrust, that'll increase advanced damage. And it also does. Advance applies a bleed, so we have the bleed on them now. And then I got to 50, whatever it's called, 54, so I got stunned. What else do we have here? Reduced power cost and reduced attack duration. Love that. I've also been meaning to test attack duration in LOTRO. But I believe it's cuts your animation time by the percentage of attack duration reduction, basically. But I don't know 100% sure if that's the case. Oh, Fletch is another finisher, but this one is AoE, it looks like. So I am using sword and dagger, but you can use swords and daggers. Like, you don't have to do sword and dagger specifically. I don't know if you can get a dagger legendary item, though. I don't believe so. I think sword is your only main hand weapon. Also, is this the combat running animation? I was like, this is a bit funky, but not in a bad way. But if I was like, my character always ran like this, I don't know if I'd be a fan of that. Okay, and then we have compound attack. Lunge applies a bleed. So it's 10-second duration. Do your buffs override each other? So if I use sweeping advance and compound attack, does lunge get both effects? Or does it only get the most recent one? Well, we took too long to do anything to see. We'll try that again. We'll see if it gets both effects. So basically if it does more damage and applies a bleed. Oh, it applied 2 bleeds there. But did it get... Oh, that one makes it apply a bleed. So yes, he got 2 bleeds. Wait, I used the wrong ability. Never mind. Hold up. Maybe I used the right ability. So advance increases damage. Oh, I thought it made it bleed. I think it's this one that makes advance bleed. Skills, passives to see armor, weapon stats. Yes, you can do that as well. They use And of course, if you're a dwarf, you can use axes, but they use medium armor and then those 2 weapons, and these are racial passives, I believe. Balance flow, here's the actual info on swordplay, or not swordplay, but critical hits, never mind, this is something different. But critical hits shift your balance forward, and being critical hit, you get shifted afterward. Alright, let's make a new dummy. Then we also have Fletch, so that's the AoE one. Oh, whoa, why? Commit your momentum to a massive lunge, I believe so, cutting across multiple targets as you dash forward. So I wonder what the hitbox for that ability is, if it's like all straight in front of you, like this, or if there's more of a cone to it. We can try like sideways attack with it. Where was it? That did hit it. I was not ready for that animation though, but it's pretty neat, different. Here I am stunned again. Northwind. Does that play a Shanty as well? Nope. Actually, I like that animation and sound effect with Cleansing Spirit though. Oh, what else we have? Oh yeah, Breath of Fire. I was so excited for this earlier. You actually do breathe fire. You can somewhat pretend to be a melee runekeeper, sort of-ish, kind of. It's probably more like burning embers from a lore master, but still, I would love a melee runekeeper in LOTRO as well. Volatile assaults. That's the AoE days. Assault Seablade, that's the incoming damage. Or the mitigation debuff. Also, it does 0 Balerian main hand damage for its second attack. I wonder what that's about. Wait, did it do? It did 1 damage, I think. Like, watch. 1 damage on the second attack. Hello, Den, it has been a while. Diadem from the kin. Actually, don't know if you're still in the kin, maybe just haven't logged in, but I thought you were still in. Either way, nice to see you. Perhaps a little bit roguelike with some of its mechanics. Like, it does have some things that remind me of Burglar, but also then some maybe a little bit of Lore Master mixed in. I don't know who Seattle is, unfortunately. There are a couple of people that, like, I've recognized the names potentially of, but don't really know them, or who they are. That one I just totally don't recognize. Yeah, 1 damage is OP. Feint. This one, wait, dodge gains a heal, cut over becomes AoE. What's cut over? That one's check step. This one. Fletch applies a latent wound, so that's just an aggressive cut. So you want to use whatever that ability was that I was looking at. I need to get these organized before I do much more. This is getting out of control. Okay, so I think I'm going to move these things to control. And then the AoEs I'm going to try to move up. Except sweeping advances. Finisher. See, this part takes me forever. See, that's a single target, but it affects AoEs, but you can make it AoE with something. This one. So cut becomes AoE. Now, max target 7. And then Fletch will, wherever that is. I think I just moved it somewhere. Where did it go? I don't think this is it. That's sweeping advance. Either way, Fletch would have gained double damage, basically. Fire breathing would be Corsair from Battle for Middle Earth 2. I've never played that, but I suppose it could be similar to that. But yeah, you bleed spirits through the flame of a torch, setting light to enemies. So it kind of has that idea. Also, did that do damage over time? I couldn't really tell. CJ, glad you are playing the Warden and enjoying it, hopefully. There's Fletch, okay. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. That's an AoE. This is an AoE. Because I just have too many abilities to put them all on one bar. Also, Feint is immediate. That's kind of interesting. That's actual mechanic in the description, too. I like immediate abilities, obviously, because you can press them whenever and cancel the animation of your previous ability, but we don't have that many long animations. But yeah, this one, perhaps a little bit more defensive oriented. It also does give you one aft instead of one fore. I don't have any traceries. We could look at traceries. I feel like I need just a mental break from trying to understand these abilities and get them organized. But I think we're making good progress. I just have a lot of the organizing part to do. Flick is an induction interrupt, so that should be... No, that's fast, not immediate. Kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm thinking traceries. Here they are. So I can just get purple traceries. That's simple enough to start, and I can get them all. So 131 general, swordplay, healing potency. Apparently there's healing stuff with swordplay. Recenter cooldown. So this reduces cooldown of recenter, wherever that is. That's one of these. Wait, no, that's the... Isn't that... Oh, that's cut over. Oh no, where is recenter? Here it is. Oh, it's one of those triangle, not triangle. Wait, attunes 20. Oh, that's neutral. So after using a finish or skill, recenter yourself and regain your balance. So maybe you do want to avoid the stun. Ty, basically what you were saying you're doing, taking your time in LOTRO, I think is a great thing to do. Some people enjoy leveling fast and going faster, but basically play at your own pace. And with all the level LOTRO has, don't worry about leveling too fast. Yeah, it seems like if you're playing at a fairly fast pace, I'm guessing recenter cooldown would be good, so we'll get that. Salt Cure, incoming damage. Wait, finisher skills reset Salt Cure. But this is Salt Cure, incoming damage debuff duration. Well, I'll still get that. Toss a bottle cooldown. Do I have toss a bottle? I sure do. That's a self-heal? Maybe? That is not a self-heal. It's also got a decent range. Well, you can heal yourself, I suspect. You can toss a bottle at your feet, I suppose. I hope. Like, I'd really hope you can use it on yourself. I just know some captain heals and the such, like, can't use on yourself. Unless you're spec'd in blue line. But either way, setting that aside. Yes, I will get that, basically. If I have too many traceries, we can refocus. Wait, Salt Sea Blade debuff duration. Wait. Salt Sea Blade debuff duration? And this was Salt Cure incoming damage debuff duration. Am I missing what Salt Cure is? Aha! Corruption removal. Maybe eventually it gets a debuff. Let's go ahead and delete that tracery then, so I don't want to worry about that. That's a pretty good cooldown reduction on Toss a Bottle. They have close to bombs, like very close. I think one of my abilities you could basically say is a bomb. Maybe even this one. Did we use this one yet? Okay, let's get in combat. Sludge pot. Oh, that one I throw. Well, that was a little delayed, but that was kind of bomb-like. Also, Toss a Bottle on myself does work. Oh, volatile salts. That one's got a decent explosion. Fizzling rocks here. Oh, no, that's different than what I thought. Throw bolus? Bolus? I don't know if I've heard that word, to be honest. Oh, there's ice breath, too. So you can blow the north wind or the south wind with fire, maybe. Were there any other abilities I missed checking out the animations of? Oh, throw an object. No, that's a little different. There's also Rummage Stone. I wonder if you're in combat, it always gives you stone. I've only used it 3 times, though, so hard to say for sure. That's a good animation for sweeping in advance, I think. I did want to check. Yeah, Compound Attack has a good one. Flick. What I notice is I have a dagger, but in combat I don't appear to use it. It does appear to be primarily main hand damage driven, which is kind of what I was suspecting it would be like, or at least guessing. Also, this is a level 10 dummy. I just noticed, accidentally killed it. There we go. I'm the alpha now. You know, I wonder if Yellow Line has a stinky poison breath somewhere. It somehow feels like a Yellow Line thing to me. Alright, Duelist. I think we were ready for that. Did I go to page 2? Defensive swordplay, buff durations. Defensive buff durations. So that would be like the parry chance and not the damage buff. You can also increase bottle healing. Self-healing from wind shanties. Okay. Some of the descriptions don't quite match the name, so I'm guessing that's stuff they're working on. Yeah, Yellow Line does seem to get the weird stuff with most classes, and then also it does seem to hold true with Mariner. Wow, I've already been here almost an hour. That's crazy. I feel like I've done nothing, sort of. Okay, swordplay skill damage, that's an easy one. Swordplay finisher damage, another easy one. 4 skills damage, that's another easy one. Thrust damage, thrust is one of our finishers, I think. Never mind, it's one of our setupers, maybe. Wait, is that our very basic skill? That sure is. The opposite of a finisher. Fire pot. Sludge pot becomes fire pot. Well, that's an exciting tracery. Pot skills cooldown. So this is for the rover. We have pot related stuff. The pot skills. Thrum of the Sea. No idea what that is, so I'll ignore it for now. Jugglery corruption chance. Jugglery. No idea what that is. Throw skill target resist chance. I'll avoid that one for now. And then Shanty Collar, blue line. Wind Shanties cooldown. Do I even have any Wind Shanties? I have 1 Shanty. Is that the same as a Wind Shanty? Also, don't even know what it is, but I have one. I actually don't know where it is. But I'm pretty sure I've had a Shanty I have used. Oh well. Star Guidance, no idea what that is either. Shanty skill healing, so they do have some healing stuff there. I don't know if they're supposed to be primarily healer. I don't think Bright Life stopped his YouTube channel. Just hasn't uploaded much lately. Hello, the Fluffy Viking. I like the name, and glad you like the content. Okay, so I don't think I have enough traceries to fill out everything, but we can see. I'm just gonna put random stuff in. Did I actually name that on accident? Was I trying to open my inventory and then I just incidentally named my LI? was trying to be a captain, or I totally ruined that. I was trying to be a mariner. Pirate. Third time's the charm. Actually, I think you can right-click these and go like that. Maybe slightly faster. Because you still have to click the yes confirmation anyway. I just like the slow way. Alright, we don't really need other traceries. When do we try to solo school or library or something? Do we do that now when we have no idea what we're doing, or do we try to learn the class more? Ice Sword of the Great Dragon Slayer. There we go. Talking into my water bottle doesn't help either. But I realized I'm thirsty and haven't drank in an hour. Alright, I got one boat that sounds in favor of an instance. So we'll do my apparent favorite instance in the entire game. School at the Myrdane, just because I run it so much.
The school at Thom Myrdine was once a pinnacle of learning during the
Where else would a mariner go?
But it has now fallen.
We're not going to do the delving, by the way. Alright, so we use this guy, and okay, it does some damage. This guy does some damage too. This one makes number 4, I think. No, number 5 in AoE? No, number... Well, shift through... Oh, whoa, wait, whoa. Wasn't ready for that again. Aha! It makes number 1, number shift to apply a bleed. Also, I'm about to die. Let's see if we can salvage this. Let's give them an AoE daze. Oh, wow. That was powerful, but it was too late. Well, that was bad. Did I at least get first bull or death? Oh yeah, I guess I could have looked here to see who's online. I wonder if anybody's anonymous. I thought most classes not 3-letter or shortened version. Oh, let's get past these guys. I don't know what any of these ability combinations are. And I don't have my abilities properly organized here. Well, I killed one, so I consider that a success. Uh-oh, do I have an interrupt? I do, but I have no idea where it is. I think it's like number shift 6 or something. I am liking the Mariner, but I don't know how to play the Mariner. So riposte, both of these impact advance. Okay, I need to go back out. I need to test some stuff. Okay, hopefully I'm not taking somebody's training to me. But I'm wondering if you can use, these were the 2 that impacted advance. Can you have both apply at once? That's what I'm really curious about. So you see if we use one, we get a buff. So we get thrust, that increases the advance damage. But then if we use 2, it overwrites that, so now I get riposte. So it's the most recent swordplay skill used. So whatever your most recent one is what actually impacts the next ability that you use. So you have combinations of abilities, or sequences of abilities might be the better way to describe it. So if I use 1 here, that will make sweeping advance, apply the bleed and the such, but sweeping advance increases dramatic flourish, critical magnitude buff. So wherever dramatic flourish is, I could use that and it would do whatever. So you kind of have that sequence of abilities with those, it seems. The other thing it does is increase finisher damage, but I think I've spent so long here, the buffs are gone. And then compound attack will make lunge apply a bleed and give lunge minus 2 second cooldown, or it just reduces the cooldown of lunge by 2 seconds. So then lunge, wherever it is, will apply a bleed now, but we're way past that. So yeah, you actually want to use stuff in a certain order. Aggressive strike here, for example, makes disengage give you increased mitigations. But it also says lunge will start a fellowship maneuver and dramatic flourish will become an AoE heal. Where's dramatic flourish? Do I have dramatic flourish? Well, doesn't look like I have it there. That could be, I think that's actually a blue line thing. Yeah, dramatic flourish right there. So that applies a heal and then a raid wide 5 meters, so very short range, 25% crit buff for 3 seconds. Very short duration. Yeah, Walter, it originally was scheduled at 7 because I usually don't get home until like 6:15ish on maybe 6, so yeah, probably 6:15 by the time I fully get here, but I usually don't get home till 6:15 on Wednesdays, but today, yeah, I was able to get home earlier. Not quite like Warden, maybe a little bit more like brawler setup skills, but kind of like Warden in a way in that you have the combos. Also, yes, my cats are trying to take over. They want me to be done with Mariner testing and be on the cat petting. Wait for it. Cat break. Oop, there's the other camera. I need the, don't have the cat cam fully set up, but there they are. And there's a little bit more of my view. Anyway, always need a cat break. Yeah, that is true. Related to mariners, they clear the boats of rats, so they actually do useful stuff. Unlike these two. They don't really do much anything useful. So yeah, with where I was, I don't think aggressive strike will do all too much for us right now for what we want to do at the moment, so I'll just set it off to the side. Cut over seems to be good. So Fletch, the AoE will apply a bleed. Perhaps one way I could organize the abilities is actually put them in the sequence that I would want to use them. Then we have other stuff like Fire Pot here, which is just like... I guess I'll get my own dummy out. I don't think there will be boats and ships for this class, but that would be a surprise if there were. But yeah, you have even like Fire Pot here. Just throw fire at your enemy. It's got a pretty short duration ground effect, but I don't necessarily mind that. And then it applies the 26-second duration burn. Anyway, yes, abilities. Feint. This one, I don't know. This one's an immediate ability, but then it does stuff with dodge, which is neither of these two. Oh, there's dodge. And then I think, what was the 22nd one? Was that aggressive strike? Was that the one that changed? Because one of them changed into a red ability that was blue. No, that was check step. So yeah, check step will increase... Wait, riposte enrages... What? Riposte enrages target? Shift back into an aggressive posture with a cutting attack. Wait, I still don't know. Riposte enrages target. Well, let's see what that does. I don't know what happened there. Like, that would make me think taunt, actually. Or I don't know if I want my target to be enraged. But this also increases forward skill damage. So if I just use a forward skill, it kind of works with that, I guess. And which one's disengage again? Like, I can't keep track of all these abilities. Not, oh yeah, that's in the, that one requires a lot of AF though. Okay, so check step I'm also going to move to the side. Yes, Louis 7 and Piper and Lexi. Oh, maybe. Almost visible. Stream. Okay, disengage is the one that goes here. That's the stun remover. Here, let's move this stuff here. Stun remover, debuff remover. This is a self-heal. This one's our root. Yeah, I was going to try to put all my crowd controls. Maybe I'll put the crowd controls here on the control bar. Oh, that's an interrupt. Wait, that's an AoE interrupt. That's pretty neat. And then heal, so crowd control stuff here. Throw object, that's just a throw thing. I have another interrupt. We'll move it there. We're getting somewhat organized. So I think Breath of Fire is just straight up fire breathing. So it doesn't really have much of a combination. So that's another ability you can kind of just use. I'll put the fire pot there with it. So these are two abilities that you kind of can just use. They both attune differently. So this one gives you afterward, the fire pot, but the Breath of Fire gives you forward. But both are 7 target AoEs, it looks like, and have a little bit of a different but comparable damage profile. Yes, tomorrow Bower should open more publicly, as in everybody can join if you have a LOTRO account. I wonder, I haven't checked the LOTRO forums all day, for better or worse, but, oh, that's talking about Guardian, which isn't a bad thing, but not relevant with the Mariner. And then we did have confirmation 59 minutes ago. Oh, Cordovan actually shared everybody's streams, so I could potentially see who's actually playing who. Because I still don't necessarily recognize all these names, like Cordovan, that one's pretty easy. I don't know Brungella, Falarnir, Felek. Game Rant, I believe, would be the website again. And then still not 100% sure on Mariner. And I don't know Saltica either. Some of these are more lore, Middle Earth, LOTRO appropriate names than just using like my Louis 7 name. We have not gotten to Shanty Caller, but oh yeah, everybody is supposed to start talking like a pirate. Okay, that's one we can move as well. But I'm trying to at least get a little bit of Redline figured out. That is my current goal. But we can check out, if y'all want to see, here, I'll make a poll. Because Yellow Line's really crazy, but I know Blue Line has some of the Shanty stuff, so I can see people wanting that. Which spec next? Rover, I believe is the name of Yellow One. But there, y'all can vote which spec you want to see next. What else are we doing? Oh yeah, still getting my red abilities somewhat organized. So Fletch. Okay, these are relatively basic abilities here. These two affect advance. So, yes. And then this one affects Fletch, which is this. And then Northwind is another one you can just kind of use. It goes with these. Also, where was wasn't there a frost breathing ability? Am I crazy or did that disappear? That might have disappeared. I'm pretty sure I had frost breath at some point. I don't think the breath of fire, I thought that was separate. Maybe it was one of these type things. Oh yeah, I was gonna see what Rummage gave me. Oh, was it one of these? Well, I'm not seeing it anymore. Or was this one the Frost Breath and it's called the Northwind? That's entirely possible. Yeah, no. There was one. I'm pretty sure there was one that actually breathed frost. Like, that was the animation, I mean. I don't know where it went. Anyway, cut over applies to Fletch, so Fletch is here. Compound attack applies to lunge. So these two apply to sweeping advance. This applies to lunge, and this applies to, wait, Fletch. This applies to Fletch. Okay, so wait, what? There we go. So that's how abilities, the like sequence of abilities, and then these three do different things. So like check step here would make riposte and rage the target somehow, but I have never seen that actually happen. Like, I don't know what it's doing with its enraging. Also, this didn't seem to actually... Oh, advance gains a chance to stun, so it's not necessarily a guaranteed stun. I also don't know if target dummies are stunnable, to be honest. Well, that's maybe something we could see fighting a regular mob. And then Salt Sea Blade, another just like debuff I can use. Okay, so these have utility. That'd be... Like, for me, especially just having the class and being on it for maybe like an hour that I've been going over the gameplay a little bit more, I just won't remember what this ability does. It also attunes 4 of the aft, so it's not necessarily something I want to use all the time for just straight up damage, of course. This one does attune to 4. What is dramatic? Oh yeah, dramatic flourish, that's a blue line thing, which would be good for a blue line mariner, presumably. Yeah, this just doesn't seem to... It says lunge reduces your target's crit chance, but it doesn't have that in the green text anywhere. Let's see what the buff gives me. Yeah, just the mitigation. I guess I can try lunge, see if that actually does anything. No, that just did the bleed. So unrelated to that. Description. And then feint, I think, dodge gains a heal. Cut over, so this one becomes an AoE. So that could be one use of this. And then compound attack gets an increased crit chance. Okay, so feint might actually be a little bit more worth using. I was going to use compound attack. And it's immediate, so it definitely has good DPS stuff going on with it. Okay, so this is terrible organization, but I do want to try school again. And then we can check out the next spec if that works for you all. I guess the mobs reset. So this will make this do an AoE, or not an AoE, but I'll make it bleed. And then this makes this do something like a bleed or double damage or something like that. Crazy. And then this guy is going to make one of these an AoE, but I don't remember which one. Also, these do AoE. But hey, we killed things. There is a spec that is kind of like a captain, but doesn't seem to be 100% focused on healing, but has some healing, as far as I can tell. So that would be the blue line spec that I have in the poll, which so far has the majority of votes. All right, let's try throwing something at him. Wait, what's this one? This one looks new. 2 second stun AoE. That one's pretty good. But got no use out of it there. That was some good damage. Okay, so we can apply Fire Pot. Oh, never mind, I got myself stunned. We can apply Fire Pot here. We can breathe some fire on them. And then probably use that to get the bleed, and then shift 3 and shift 4 I think will make the AoE bleed. Then we can use this, which does something. It makes like cut over become AoE and compound attack get increased crit chance, but I think we're dying from the stun either way. Did I at least kill one of them? I don't know. I did a lot of damage to one of them, but they might have gotten healed. Maybe I'm being greedy going for... Oh, you can actually stack this bleed. That's pretty good. That was a little bit better. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I was going to use recenter. But that's one I probably should work in as well, because it will prevent that stun, basically. Let's try this again. Also, I think I have interrupt somewhere here. There we go. Not too bad there. We're getting a little bit better. I don't know if I'd quite describe this as good, but a little bit better. Seems like a reasonable description of how things are going. Okay, I'm gonna use that to... Oh, I tried to reset my stuff. Oh, you can only use it after a finisher. Okay, so I used recenter there. And I'm still a little bit on the 4 side. Get some more AoE bleeds. I forget what the other effect of this is. Dodge gains a heal, that's the other thing. Oh, and cutover becomes AoE. And cutover is this guy? Yes, okay. I wouldn't describe the class as being like a captain, but they have a spec that resembles captain a little bit. Like, they have a lot of buffing abilities and heal abilities that are kind of like the captain, but then... Yeah, some of those abilities also don't stack with certain captain buffs. There's another big hint at that. Oh, I'll get this guy on his own. See if I get anything interesting. So this is the Rummage Salts that's a 2 second stun. Kinda neat. Oh, I missed my abilities there. Oh well. I think one of these, like this one, will give me increased damage on stuff again though. Except I'm stunned, I guess I can get out of my stun. Maybe even single target's worth using that for the bleed. So far I like Mariner better than Brawler. I don't know if I can quite call it a better class based on me just liking it more, but I definitely like it better. Which isn't to say Brawler is a bad class again, but it's like, oh, I have an AoE interrupt. There it is. Way too late, though. Also, I think I used that ability too early again. Okay, we can salvage this. Don't worry. Maybe using that's okay even without cut over to apply another bleed. Do you think we can kill the boss? I don't think so. Oh yeah, and as LOTRO was saying, in chat there, the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner, that's actually a good reminder that we should probably check that out today as well. I can sum up the first impressions that I enjoy Mariner a lot. Like, Brawler was neat in its own way, and I know it was their first time doing an early preview of the class and first new class they released in a long time, but I feel like the Mariner, just based on the, like, hour to hour and a half we have had today, has gone so much better than the early Brawler preview. Okay, I think I'm about to get myself killed here, but we'll see what we can do. No idea what that one does, so let's just use it anyway. Yeah, I don't know if it's like, it could be somewhat a function of my gear, but I am squishy. I'm also very glass cannon built here. I don't even know, my DPS stats aren't even perfect, and I don't have, like, just to point out, it is true I don't have all my traceries, so those can be very important, especially the heraldic traceries. So just reminder, and this is 3-man instance, so I'm very under-geared, understated, don't know this class, and I was trying to solo a 3-man instance there, so getting obliterated by that boss, 100% expected. But in case anybody didn't have that context, I feel like it's a bit important. Okay, so we can check out Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner next. And then blue line, because I just got red line set up, so I wouldn't mind having a little break before I set up another spec and look into it. So I forget where exactly Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner starts. For some reason I was thinking Brandywine River, but I don't know. I don't think it's Trader's Wharf, but maybe it is. We will find out soon. Ah, so it is. Okay, it is at the between Buckland and Trader's Wharf kind of area. Like right there, I think. It's been a minute. At least I had the correct river. So, fun thing with the Mariner is you have all these D&T abilities, and we can actually sail to Buckland. So let's sail to Buckland. I'm very excited to see the animation of us taking a boat to Buckland from here. Yeah, it doesn't have that. It's like regular porting. But it, like, you are on a river. Like, you are teleporting to port, so it kind of makes sense the way it works. Oh, is my Mariner's name actually going to be Luiner when it comes to it? I don't know if I like that name. Is the Mariner on the other side? One second. Oh, up the river from the Brandywine Ridge east side. Okay. I have been here before, but I don't know if I've ever done the full event. I really act like I never have, but... At least I wasn't way too far off with it being... I also don't know if I have a mount, so excuse my slowness here. But yeah, I don't... Glad I wasn't completely crazy with guessing this area. Beautiful Brandywine River water. I feel like I should be sailing a ship and not walking the lands as a mariner to get here. Hmm. For some reason, I feel like I'm going too far north. I think... Looks like on the LOTRO wiki, they have the NPC listed here-ish. So I'm gonna head back south for now. In the meantime, we can actually look at blue line traits. So I'm going to just switch specs here while we travel. And yeah, looks like 2/3 of people voted to see blue line instead of the crazy yellow line. Your wife navigating in real life, when in doubt, turn around. That is what I am doing here. So now we get dramatic flourish, that ability we've heard so much about. We actually have it now. And you can get increased max. Oh, that's basically motivate. What's it called? Motivating speech. So instead of speech, you have song now. I gotta hear that. Very short song, but at least it was motivating. Also, what instrument did I pull out? That was very brief that I saw an instrument. Is this not... Like, there's the bounder there, but... Am I crazy, or does the LOTRO wiki list right here-ish? 31.1 south, 62.7 west. Hold up, right? Oh, I'm going too far west. It would make sense if I were going west. 62 point right here. This is right where the LOTRO wiki says the NPC should be. So maybe they didn't actually make it into this. Also, this is a very random note being called update 37.2 beta, if anybody was curious. So kind of like the brawler, it's going to probably be released. I don't think there's anything confirmed on this, but we can expect it to be released kind of like the brawler, the mariner class early in an expansion pre-patch. But I don't see the shipwrecked mariner anywhere around here. So let me just double check coordinates, triple check them. 31.1 south, 62.7 west. That is where I am. All right then. So maybe they just didn't have that. The mariner is kind of, yes. So they get a lot of different things from Will. They get a good chunk of their DPS from agility, especially with critical rating, but they also get relatively more physical mastery from might. Yeah, it looks like this is not actually in the beta as expected to test out the missions. Oh well, we can live without that. I'll just save some suspense and the such. Also, was that a loot? I didn't pay attention to the animation. Either way, we have more blue line stuff we can check out in a maybe somewhat more relaxing place. Actually, let's travel somewhere. Oh, there's King's Gondor. Western Gondor. Do we want to go to King's Gondor? Let's go to Lynn here. Yes, please, travel. Travel, please. Spin Mithril coins. Travel? There we go, that one lets me travel. Just seems like the place to be. Unfortunately, I don't have a sail skill here. Otherwise, I would. Where's Soren Ford? I recognize that name, but I don't know exactly where Soren Ford is. Just by name. But I recognize the name. Yeah, that one's Trader's Wharf. Oh. Is it... That's clear. Tharbad. Oh yes, here it is. It is in Cardillon. Alright, where was I going? Lynn here? I feel like I should just try to get as close to the ocean as possible. As close to Umbar as possible. And even though technically I think Western Gondor would be closer. Actually, it's not. Central Gondor is closer. Sort of. Maybe the appendage. Yeah, actually the appendage of Western Gondor right there. Don't mind me just randomly looking behind me. It's closer. Alright, this feels like a slightly more fitting place for this character, even though we don't have training dummies or anything. But we can see the Shanty collar, so we have temporary balance buff. So combat like the sea has an ebb and flow, you're able to better benefit from the positive effects of changing balance states. What? So I guess that has to do with temporarily changing forward and aft. You somehow get buffs and these last longer. What that? Steady movement speed. Wait, you're so... okay. You can walk faster when you're steady. Extreme balance grace periods. You're able to remain in unbalanced states for longer before you are forced to re-steady yourself. So I'm guessing that is when you're at like 50 on either side, or at 0 or 50, I mean. You have a longer period before you'll get stunned, up to 5 seconds. That is a Stormy Seas icon. Shanties, restore some of your own morale, and they get increased healing. I still haven't seen one Shanty. Let's go ahead and apply and see if I have a Shanty. The West Wind, this looks like a Shanty. It's a 2-minute cooldown, but it is indeed a Shanty. So there's the West Wind Shanty. I hope it's true that mariners can summon a Kraken and ride waves like Iceman. Who is Iceman? For some reason, the person that comes to mind is from The Incredibles, and I have no idea if that's what you're talking about. I believe Hobbit Mariner would be possible. We can go to the other races and see what they look like. Maybe after Blue Line, because a couple of people have asked about that. Step back reduces more damage. I believe one of these is step back, maybe. No. This one? No, that's sea legs. Ah, this one's step back. That's the one that changes when you're in red line. But that, yeah. Anyway, that one does something. Oh, damage reduction. It's also a little bit of a self-defense thing, it seems. I don't think that's a fellowship buff. Yeah, does that have damage reduction? If I apply it, does it gain? Oh yes, it does, okay. So for 5 seconds, you get some damage reduction. You can technically use this every 5 seconds too. So yeah, I can maintain that buff for the most part. Also, so I mentioned that Wednesday, I do have stuff I have to do tonight before I go to bed. So just as a heads up, I'm probably getting to about where I have an hour-ish left, which is a long time, but did just want to give that heads up. It's something I have to keep in mind that I actually have a lot to do before tomorrow morning. And like half an hour to an hour-ish would be a good wrap-up point for me. So I'll try to get all the testing in before then, but unfortunately I can't stay here that long today. Frozone, that was the one from Incredibles. That's right. That's just what popped to mind, even though it's more frozen waves. It's been forever since I've watched that. The Incredibles, that is. Okay, your blade not only cleanses corruptions, but admonishes enemies when it does so. So this is where you get the incoming damage buff from the assault one that removes corruptions. So that should, maybe? Maybe it gives incoming damage. 100% chance to increase the target's incoming damage when removing a corruption. Okay, still doesn't update the description, but we can just assume that works. If we never test it, we'll never know if it actually does or doesn't work, and if it says it does something, we can just believe it actually does it, because by the time it's released, it probably will. Maybe. So you get crit chance when you're steady balance. That seems to be the big thing with Blue Line. You can go to either extreme and not be as, say, punished by having the grace period with a stun, but you're also benefited by staying steady. The North Wind, gnaws at your phones, give them crit defense reduction. It's a little bit more susceptible to crits. South Wind, there's the South Wind blues. Unrelated to the fire South Wind that I was talking about earlier. But the South Wind is still a longish cooldown, but it gives a fellowship-wide heal over time and increased run speed. And there are more points with it, so you get more buff potency. So that could be a pretty decent run speed boost. Let's see. I like all the watery icons. Of course, they can do that very easily with Blue Line and having everything be blue colored, but it's aesthetically pleasing to me. I just find them very pleasant to look at. So Southwind, that's what it sounds like, and you run fast. 35% run speed for 8 seconds, and a little bit of a heal. You know, get out of danger, avoid the Balrog or Kraken or whatever you're fighting. Wind Shanty durations. There you go. Self-healing from Wind Shanty's up to 400%. That's pretty strong. Like, I guess it doesn't actually show me the value, but this one, instead of healing 333, it, well, now heals 368. I don't think that's right. That must not be one of the ones they were talking about then. What was this one? Yeah, the winds. So that was not one of the winds. That was something else. But this one should heal me for quite a bit. Never mind. This doesn't seem to work. Maybe because it disappears when you actually put trait points in it, you're not getting the bonus healing. And then Shanty cooldowns up to 5 seconds. Although I still only see... I feel like I'm missing something. I just deleted something. But I feel like I'm missing some shanties for some reason. Oh, these are shanties. Or the winds, I guess. Nope. There's still no east wind, so we better be getting an east wind here soon. But here's my 3 wind abilities. This one does healing, but you have to have a target. And then Marked Foes, that's the AoE. I already saw this one, but it is an AoE incoming damage buff for 10 seconds. It does not stack with Captain's Telling Mark. That looks kind of like crows, but I think it's just Marked Foes. Your shanties further and hearten your allies. Booming voice. Wonderful. Very, very valuable trait there. No idea what it does. Looks like it does nothing, but hey, at least you're enheartening your allies. And then Guided by the Stars. 4-minute cooldown, basically. And this one gives Fellowship big buffs and a heal. Not a giant heal, but a heal. And I still don't appear to have an east wind. Also, there's Guided by the Stars. We kind of saw it, sort of. So a lot of these you do have to have enemies to attack. I don't know if these abilities like do any sort of healing anything. Doesn't seem like it, at least directly. Dramatic Flourish, that seems to be one of the big, say, damage, which would be 4 on your balance scale, so forward. This seems to be one of the big finishers, of course, and it Yeah, applies the outgoing damage buff to the raid, while also giving them, yes, 25% crit hit chance and some morale. So there is a benefit towards going DPS in that you have a couple damage buffs here, it looks like, with your finishers and the such. So yeah. As far as other trait points, where you would want to go after maximizing the blue line completely, I don't know, you could get more damage in the red line, it looks like. Salt Sea Blade would probably be worth getting for the mitigation debuff. And I don't know, some other things. Dodge might not be terrible. Step back also could, maybe, unless you want those to return you more neutral. Maybe those would be good. Also, that actually does make sense, Diago, that there would be no East Wind for lore reasons. Although it could be East relative to, I don't know, like even South winds. Makes you think of winds from Harad, but relative to, say, North Downs, that's like the winds from Bree. But yeah, that does make sense. Maybe if they ever release Corsair, maybe they would have an East Wind thing. Am I even thinking of that right? I don't know. Or is that more of a Mordor thing? Probably, well, I don't know if Fate would be good, because Fate, it's just power, which is not as powerful as power sounds. It's not necessarily that powerful unless you have power issues, and it's not even, like, it just gives you a little, maybe it gives you a decent bit more, like 1980 Fate does increase total power by a decent magnitude, but it's still like, that's all it does, increases your maximum power pool, really. And then the out of combat is out of combat power regen. That is a good question. I feel like we spent plenty of time with Blue Line here. I could actually test some of the specific mechanics, but it does seem like they don't have that many Shanty abilities. Like, you have the 2 stance ones, you have Motivating Song, which is more of just a long duration buff, except it does give a little bit of a heal, so it might not be terrible to use that in rotation. Also, I want to see the instrument that comes out. That one doesn't have. It's this one that pulls out an instrument, and I still have not seen it every time I've used it, even though I've meant to. That's supposedly a Shanty, but I didn't hear one. Wait. Was that one of my things making that noise, or was that an environment thing here? Ooh, there is a bleed knife. Its haversack skill is pretty interesting. Adds a little bit of spice to the class, I guess. They wear medium armor, and if I do say so, they wear some pretty nice medium armor. Like, the intro armor your Mariner gets, I think looks better than a lot of armor in the game. Not to say a lot of armor looks bad, but a lot of like the low level older armor pieces, you know, they don't look great because they want the higher level epic raid armor sets to look really cool in comparison. Like, you can't just have the best looking armor right off the bat, but with the Brawler, they had a, I think, pretty interesting unique set. Even the Beornings, especially Dyed Crimson, they had that, and now the Mariner, it looks like. Okay, so Man can be Mariner, High Elf can be Mariner, Dwarf cannot be Mariner. That's actually a shock that they don't have it available to every race. I'm actually really surprised It seems like Dwarf would be a great mariner to me. Or maybe I'm thinking too much pirate. So who are they inspired by? Erendil. Isn't that who I talked about in my video? Who alone among men successfully sailed to the uttermost west to plead for the aid of the Valar. Seems to me that's a little more description than they usually give. Like the lore master just says Elrond, Elflord and Master of Rivendell. This is gonna be Legolas. Okay, this one has a little bit more. Mighty Hunter and Companion of Aragorn. Runekeeper's, I forget who, Celebrimbor, that's right. That one has a little bit more. This one's Haldir. Oh, and Runil and Orphan. I should have known that. Capable of using strange devices. That's probably when we get to the yellow line. Or at least strange, like, devices as... Also ignore how, he doesn't have much of a body. But yeah, High Elf, okay, let's get the rest. Stoudax? Okay, Stoudax can be Mariner, but not regular Dwarf. For me, if I wanted to play a Dwarf Mariner, that would be unfortunate because I prefer Dwarfs over Stoudax Dwarfs. River Hobbit, I would fully expect them to be able to be Mariners, and yes, Hobbit cannot. Elf can also not, so they have High Elves, but not Elves. And then Beorning, much to my surprise, I was really pulling for them to be able to be Mariner. Yeah, River Hobbit Mariner. That's what it looks like. Maybe you're looking to actually see me make a River Hobbit Mariner, but that might have to wait for the future because I do want to look at Yellow Line before we completely go. But I think that's, once we get Yellow Line, that will be most of the Mariner related content covered, unless you all can think of anything that I've missed. I've not looked too much around just to see if there's anything they snuck in with the landscape. I've not looked too much around here, but I don't really expect us to see anything. Also don't have a mount. Well, I might have a mount, but... Warsteed? I have those. Or did this used to be red? I thought it was always that gray text. Not that I've been here enough to actually know. But we can see. Yeah, no Beorning Mariners, unfortunately. Where's the closed gate? Would it be over here? It looks very open from here, but... That's the thing with video games. Sometimes things don't render that close. How do I cross this again? Oh yeah, we have to go around. Oh boy. I act like I've never been here. I really want a mount. I do know I at least have Journeyman riding, even if I don't have a Warsteed. I can get my Journeyman riding and get some random, hopefully not terribly ugly. Let's go with that one. Mount. There we go, Steed of Starlight. Didn't somebody name their character Starlight? They sure did. Do we go up? I don't think so, but maybe we do. Have I just completely forgotten how to navigate the city? I promise I have been here before. I realize I haven't actually played through King's Gondor yet, but I have actually been here. And this area does exist in non-King's Gondor or Western Gondor times. Or is this where the gate is closed? This might be where it's closed. No, that's still open. Because I was thinking it was up here, kind of where we were looking. Do. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's closed. Oh, that one's closed too. Oh, well, I tried. I don't remember actually saying like Dora and Ernil, King's Gondor before. So that's what gave me a little bit of hope. But it was a false hope after all. Well, there's one great way to test blue line. Can I kill this crawler? Take your bets, place your votes now. Oh yeah, with the self heals, we got this easy. Wow, I feel so OP compared to Redline and not running a 3-man instance. Yeah, Gondor cities are confusing. It is true. Sad Mariner. I just want to sail to Umbar. The gates are closed though. Do Mariners have a good cry animation? Seems to be the regular one. Don't know what my cats are doing. Oh wow, it's dark outside. I guess that's what happens when it gets late and past sunset. Yeah, the combat animations are, I'd say, pretty good. I don't mean this in a bad way for Brawler, but they're not as over the top as Brawler. But they still have some pretty neat animations and unique for LOTRO that I like. Especially when you get to the lunging. I think those are actually fairly solid animations. You mainly attack with your main hand. I don't even know if I've seen an ability do offhand damage. Also, just for comparison, we'll go to the yellow line next, I suppose. But just for comparison, let us see what red line can do with these two abilities. There we go. There's some damage I now feel actually strong. You just have to fight random crawlers and rats and Lin here instead of try to do a 3-man instance solo. Okay, yellow line. Easiest 100 mithril coins I spent on this character. And the only 100 mithril coins I spent on this character. So if Mariner is basically a pirate, when will they release the ninja class? With no prior lore knowledge, I feel like ninjas would be Evandem. If they ever do like King's Arnor, I think is what people have been calling it. Just like in relation to King's Gondor. Like if you consider Mariner the good version of a Corsair, even though it's not exactly that as we've talked about. I feel like it would be the good version of the Tomb Robbers here for some reason. That's just what I first think, even though it's not exactly the same. I feel like that's the closest idea I can have off the top of my head. Anyway, yellow line, the very strange one that I don't even know. They even have strange baubles, rare materials. In a pinch, they can turn the odds and ends into devices. They can turn odds and ends into devices for confounding and weakening their foes. So it seems to be debuffing focused. So, Breath of Fire. Very first ability that we have here. Oh! This is where Breath of Ice came from. But Breath of Fire, very first ability here. Damage focused. But it turns to Breath of Ice when we're in Aftward. So if I use like Control 1, Control 2 here, we should start shifting to Aftward, or do we need to get in combat? Maybe we need to get in combat. Any more crawlers around or rodents? That works. This is when I got the Breath of Frost though, maybe. How afterward do I have to get for it to become Breath of Frost? I'm glad to know I wasn't completely crazy. Comes Breath of Ice when, here we are. Here's Breath of Ice. So that slows the enemy. Finally found it after all this time. Finally found my Breath of Ice, as it's called. Okay, chance for advance to stun when used after riposte. So if you use riposte, advance will stun. We get a lot of fate. We'll ignore that for now. Belly of... Wait, what do we get for speccing in? Oh, aggressive strike becomes debilitating strike. Which, wow, 0.85 times outgoing damage is quite the reduction. Also, if I'm standing weird, it's because I have been standing for 2 hours and I feel way out of practice. I haven't streamed enough to be used to standing this long again. Also, I don't have my standing map, but I am standing on carpet, but that's another possibility of why I'm getting sore here and getting tired of standing. Anyway, enough of that, and moving on to Belly of Brine, where you got that one from the red line. Throw an object, pretty simple. Outgoing healing modifier, kind of interesting. I don't know what much healing we'll get in yellow line. Maybe that's also a good trait for a blue spec Mariner. So you get temporary damage reduction when you're into aftward. And then you just get mitigation here. Metal armor is a death sentence to anyone thrown overboard, so you're adept at making, the most of your cloth and leather equipment. You're medium armor, but you have dense padding, so you get more mitigations. Northwind reduces incoming healing of foes. Well, that's very good for these crawlers, so we'll be sure to get it. All their healing they do. Your throwing aim is, oh yeah, this one we can throw our pots and the such. And then, they become targeted. You already threw them before, but you get increased range, and now you can target them. Unless it's toss a bottle. That's a little different. But like the fire pot will be able to ground target. Like, I had that trait in red line. Volatile salts, this is the AoE daze. With a 2-minute cooldown. And then after step back or check step, disengage heals. Which is this one. I'm actually learning things now, so that will heal after one of those abilities. Step back would be here. It becomes check step in red line. See, things are making sense. I know the names of things and what they impact a little bit-ish, at least. D&T Fear. Chance for Shanties to restore power. Like, there's this big gap here. That's, like, very balanced. I don't know how intentional that was whenever whoever created this trait tree did it this way, but I enjoy the aesthetics of that. Okay, innervating counter. Oh, we didn't look at the set bonuses for blue line. But for innervating counter, after anticipation, surprising your enemies with a riposte will increase the damage they receive. What is anticipation? Don't know what anticipation is. It could be... Oh, there's that juggler thing. Don't know. 1 minute, 10.5 seconds cooldown. That's very precise. You gotta get that half second for your 1 minute, 10-second cooldown. Can't have it be a half second faster or slower. Anyway, that, does that with whatever anticipation is. Or after anticipation. Or probably anticipation. The A is just capitalized for starting the sentence. And then after advance... Okay, so we do know advance is this one. So after advance, debilitating strike will disarm your opponent. Is that a thing? Do other... I don't know that any class has disarmed opponents before. Maybe champion. For some reason that sounds like a champion thing, but I could just be mixing other stuff up that they do. I think that could be a decent champion tank thing if they wanted to give them that type of tool. Steal it from the Mariner. And then watching a pot has never made it boil faster. That is true. Hovering over your cooking food will make it cook faster. I'm glad to see they're implementing that properly in Middle Earth here with the Mariner. Anyway, focusing on swordplay makes the time pass more quickly. On every swordplay critical hit, haversack skills cooldown reduced. So doing something else will actually make the time pass more quickly. But it is true, if you just watch it, it boils a lot faster. Wait, is that actually being serious? Maybe it is actually being serious. That watching a pot has never made it boil faster. Or have I been here so long I'm crazy? I think that works too. Anyway, what is this last trait? Let's completely move on from that. Steady Traveler, 3-minute cooldown, but it heals almost all my morale. And it gives me increased movement speed when I'm steady, and gives me temporary damage reduction for map forward balance. Good thing they patched the damage reduction effects actually reducing damage instead of increasing damage. So we got a bunch of stuff here. So we got Caustic Brew, we got Pitch Pot, we got Fire Pot, maybe. Oh, too close. We got Fear, we got Frost Breath of Ice, we already had that. We have the North Wind, we have Steady Traveler, because why not? We have Jugglery Proficiency. Haversack skills may reduce your target's outgoing and incoming damage. Ooh. Ooh. So yeah, 30% chance to apply the 0.5 times percent incoming and outgoing damages, which it did not apply there. Then using swordplay skills will reduce the cooldown of this by 1 second. Maybe. It's hard to tell if it's actually working. But that does seem to be going down kind of fast. It's also true. So Bella, you asked, is it just you or did they take skills from various other classes and mash them together? That does seem true. But LOTRO also has a lot of classes, so it's kind of hard to not have some themes from other classes. But yeah, you can see a lot of burglar stuff in the yellow line, a lot of captain stuff in the blue line, and brawler champion-y stuff maybe in the red line, sort of ish. You could even go with Runekeeper and Loremaster just because of all their fire. No idea what 4 does, but that had a nice shanty sound to it. But yeah, like Fire Pot and maybe Breath of Fire, a little bit Lore Mastery. Thinking Sticky Gourd, or not Sticky Gourd. Well, yeah, Sticky Gourd and Burning Embers. They get one-handed weapons, so you can use swords and daggers, and your legendary weapon will be a one-handed sword. I just really like having a dagger in the offhand for some reason with this character and that particular dagger. It's probably, I don't know, that just seems to fit a lot better than using sword and sword to me, but that's just me personally. I don't see bows, but that is a good question. Class item is a Mariner's Haversack, which is actually this ability, is rummage through your haversack. This one gave me a knife, which deals quite a bit of bleed damage. T-shirt cannon? They should have a t-shirt cannon. I have not seen that yet, but maybe still have to unlock it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think I did hear that Dungeons and Dragons Online DDO had an alchemist, but yeah, these I could see being similar to alchemist because they're caustic brews and the such. Caustic brew, pitch pot, fire pot, etc. So I believe the one-handed sword is basically their cutlass type weapon. I'm surprised it doesn't have more of a cutlass appearance, but maybe that's something they'll change or start adding for the Mariner. Dull Cutlass is actually the name of the starter weapon that you get. And then you have second best table knife. Yeah, this is like attunement from the Runekeeper. Unfortunately, you can't move this right now, but that's why it's been stuck floating there the whole time. But yeah, unless you all have any last minute requests for things to see today, I am going to have to get going. We have been here a little over 2 hours, so got quite a bit of testing, got to all 3 specs, somewhat actually learned how to somewhat play this class a little bit. So if I get a chance to play Friday morning, tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, there's a very tiny chance of that. But I was gonna say I could buff this character up, like actually get him some gear and try to do some actual content with the red line and the such. Take it from the top he only just got here. That's what the rewind button is for. Just go 2 hours, 14 minutes back and you'll be all set. Yep. I could name my sword instead of I was supposed to say I am a mariner. Instead of naming it I could name it third best table knife. Could also be a good burglar weapon name. Alright, so let's see. I believe this sequence of abilities would be pretty good on this crawler. Let's see. 1, 3, 5, 6. Got 3 good, maybe? Yeah, good enough. Bleeds on them, and there we go. No reward track on Bull. Very random note, but... Or at least this character... He should have Secret of the Deep Places. I don't know. Probably a Bull thing. Oh yeah, naming your bear something bear themed. It was probably going to be like that with Mariner legendary weapons. And then if those weren't enough bleeds, oh oops, used that out of order, but he was dead anyway. Okay, we can try one thing. This is another test I use on basically all my characters, so it's just something very easy. Like School, very easy way to see if you can solo a 3-man instance. It's a fairly simple-ish one, I guess, even though it has annoying mobs, but maybe that's part of the point of the challenge. But the Elite Master's here in Fornost, so let us see if I can solo him. We're going to use these legendary combos that I just talked about, and pretend I actually know what I'm doing this entire time, because it actually kind of looks like I am. But that is completely by mistake if anybody was concerned that I actually knew what was going on here. See, I died. Had no chance that entire time. I actually have in my shared storage, that reminds me, weapons that look like cutlasses. Hold up, we gotta do that before, placeholder, before I go. Oh, placeholder because we're technically in Dor and Ernil's King's Gondor? Is that why we got the placeholder? I need to get to Bree. Actually, to neuter works. That's Soren Ford. This one's to neuter. Let's set sail. We're sailing all the way from here to... Let's see, the best way to do that? Yeah, we're probably going way out there to sail to Tenuter. I don't see a good path to sail from the... whatever this is called. We're going to the Brandywine. What is this one called again? Etheranduin? I don't know. I know this one's the... Oh yeah, that is the Anduin. It goes up there. That makes sense. So this one's the Anduin. This one's the Brandywine. This one I Meluinen maybe? Is that what it's called? Why was I thinking Meluinen? Oh, Methathel River, maybe. I don't know. What is Meluinen? Why did that come to mind? Isn't that this place? Oh boy. Anyway. This is the guy I want to talk to.
Greetings.
Okay, one of these should look like a cutlass. Nope. Or maybe used to. I could have gotten rid of it because I never used it. That's a two-handed? No. Never mind. There's a good chance I got rid of it because I never... Oh yeah, that's the Mariner sword. But there is a good chance I got rid of it because I never used it. It could be stuck in one of my character's inventories rather than actually being my thing here, as I was hoping. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But I do have a cutlass-like weapon on somebody. Graveblood is the... I think that's the river name. I think you got it. River Gwaithir? Is that what it's called here? No, wasn't Gwaithir one of the birds? Maybe not. Alright, cat shelf. Hold up, I have a cat shelf for you. I'm bored in the mess. There's the cat shelf. And the cat. And the other cat right here. But yes, this is the cat shelf that currently has no cat beds and has wires on it. She's going from cat shelf to other more different cat tree cat shelf. Skirmish camp? I can go to the skirmish camp. Check it for what? Gwaithir. Oh, Gwaithir is one of the eagles. Oh, almost made it to the skirmish camp. Not quite. Uh-oh. This cat's trying to attack my balance bar. Oh, Gwaithir is the river name? And then Gwaithir is the eagle?
Did you need something?
So do they actually have a cutlass type sword here? I would have to imagine it's one of the higher level ones if they did. Like Pelennor could maybe make sense. Hey, they have brawler gauntlets here. Not seeing any. Although that one's a little bit different at least. They could also have from the other vendors, not necessarily just the weapon vendors. From like, I don't think this one, but this one
May I help you?
could potentially have a weapon here somewhere. That, oh, that one's a dagger cutlass. Which really just, yeah, means curved dagger, but... Not seeing any here. And the Forsaken? That's a great sword. Traveler's knife, that actually sounds like a good knife for a rover mariner. Yes, TK Best, this is the mariner that is coming in the, I suspect, pre-patch for the Umbar expansion. Not seeing any cutlass here, but I'll have to, oh, maybe the, no, I was hoping that one. But I'll have to find where mine is, assuming I still have it on one of my characters. But yeah, that is something good to look into for future mariners if you want a cutlass style weapon. I don't know why I like this sword and dagger look so much for them. It just seems so fitting. And I know that's what they started with, but yeah. Anyway, I think at this point, as much as I don't really want to, I need to wrap up the stream so I can do other stuff. I don't want to do other stuff, but yes, I should wrap it up. I do appreciate everybody joining today with the special early preview of the Mariner class, though. Hopefully you got to see at least most of the stuff you wanted to see with them. Unfortunately, we didn't have the... Oh boy, I need to fix my monitor. But hopefully... Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner event, but that will be on the live servers soon. I think it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we'll be sure to try to check that out on the next week in the new missions with that. And then if I have time to play more of the beta, I will, but I'm hoping to at least have 1 or 2 videos maybe on the Mariner. I really enjoy the Mariner that I have tested so far in the beta, so I'm really excited to see this class actually fully come to the game, but it feels fairly polished for being the first beta preview, so I'm pretty impressed and honestly a little bit surprised based on the Brawler first round of beta. That basically was my expectations going in, so I'm really glad to see it feel more finished, and I think it will be a fun class. I know with the Brawler, it's one I haven't maybe enjoyed as much. I just don't like that fist fighter style. It's nothing against the class design perspective, but more that just like in all games, I don't typically enjoy that type of class. But Mariner's pretty unique and pretty fun so far. It's been fun learning it and getting it somewhat organized and actually knowing some of the ability names and what they do. But yeah, I expect the new level cap to be 150. I don't know if that's been 100% confirmed, but it's very likely it'll be 150. And again, I expect the Mariner to be released in like a pre-patch and available for pre-order and all that such. But like the Brawler, I expect it'll be in a pre-patch to the expansion rather than released on expansion launch. So I will definitely be making and playing a Mariner up to the release of Umbar. I don't know if it'll be the first class I progress through, but it's actually possible. We'll see how fun it is and how fun it stays being over time. But yeah, Garrett, I don't want to leave either, if you can't tell, but I really do have stuff to take care of, so I must go. But I will be back. When? I don't know. But I will be back. Anyway, as far as this stream goes, if y'all did enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone.